Hey, good morning everybody. It's Clint with CCUA. We're here with another VEG Out video. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about some of those big friends that we have all around town that sometimes we don't notice, and that is our trees. So Missouri, and central Missouri in particular, is home to a lot of different types of trees. Some of them you might be really familiar with, and some of them might be a little newer to you. So just a few, and here's, you see I got this poster here, Show Me Trees. This just features a few of the really common ones. So some that you would be familiar with might be an oak. And there's lots of oaks. You've got post oak, and you can see how it's got those nice lobes. The northern red oak. Black oak. And there's also, it's not featured on here, but the sawtooth oak is one that I know we have, especially in Columbia. We have lots of sawtooth oaks planted around downtown in the North Village in the little tree grates. One easy way to tell an oak from another tree is by its acorn. So acorns from different oak trees will look different. But they all kind of just look like acorns. And another one that's not featured on here would be a bur oak. Bur oaks, big acorns with shaggy tops. And you might know of a bur oak from the big tree down by McBain. Oaks are really handy. They produce pretty good wood. But other than that, there's not too much we use them for aside from shade. Now, another one is the black walnut. You can see here it's got leaves right here on either side of the what we call the petiole, which holds it all together. And the black walnut actually has a couple different things that are useful for it. Their lumber is super hard, very hard wood, very rot resistant. So that means the wood that we get from black walnuts is really good for building. But a secondary thing that we use it for is the actual black walnut. And you may have seen them. They fall in late summer, and they are these green, round, kind of pleasant smelling, just little balls that fall off of the tree. And if you crack through those, you get down to the actual black walnut. And then if you crack through that woody exterior, you get to the meat of the nut, which is delicious. Not just for us, but also for squirrels. So it's an important food source for wildlife, and an important food source for us as well. And the number one thing you can find black walnuts in is ice cream. Black walnut ice cream. So we've got another one over here. We've got the sugar maple. So the sugar maple, or I'm sorry, not a sugar maple, a silver maple. We do have some sugar maples around here, but the silver maples are much more common. And just because it's not a sugar maple, you can actually still get a little bit of syrup from these guys. Now, whenever you get syrup, like maple syrup, what they do is they put a tap into a tree. It's like a little tube that pokes into the tree bark, and that lets the sap flow out. And it's really liquidy, kind of sweet. And then if you want to turn that into syrup, then you have to boil it down. But we can still get some syrup from silver maples. Let's see, another good one. Well, they're all good ones, but another one of my favorites is the black locust. They produce these seed pods. I also think they just have the prettiest little oval leaves. But the seed pods are an important source of food for wildlife. And they also provide really good lumber for us to use. Again, just like that black walnut, really hard wood, really rot resistant. And it grows really straight and pretty quickly too. You'll see a lot of black locusts, black locust wood and fence posts around the state. And let's see, the flowering dogwood. This is our state tree And it's a really pretty one, especially in the fall time. I don't know if you can see, it's got those nice red leaves in the fall. And a couple more to mention. Pecan. You might be more familiar with this tree by its nut, and you might be more familiar with that nut in a pecan pie. Pecans are delicious. They produce lots and lots and lots of these pecan nuts. You can crack them open to get to the meat of that nut, and they got a pretty tasty snack. Another one that we like to eat is the persimmon. Now, if you've never had the opportunity, it is delicious. Persimmons are so tasty. And this is a picture of the persimmon. And if you've ever seen a persimmon in the grocery store, they're very similar. The ones in the grocery store are Asian persimmons. This is the American persimmon. So it's smaller, I think a little bit sweeter and nuttier. But you want to make sure that if you ever eat one of these, you wait until it is all the way ripe. I mean, if it's not already off the tree, it should come off with absolutely no resistance, because if you eat one that is unripe, it's not dangerous as far as I know, but the taste is awful. It's very astringent, so it takes all the moisture in your mouth and just sucks it all out. And you just got the driest mouth you could ever possibly imagine. A very uncomfortable sensation. So if you do eat persimmons, just make sure you wait until they're really ripe, and that's usually in early fall. I think that is most of the ones that I wanted to spotlight. There's also the Osage Orange, which I'm a big fan of just because it has such a funny little fruit. They look like a little brain. And those have a history of being used as in fencing as well. Both as using the wood and branches for fence posts, and also for spreading these hedge balls, or hedge apples, as they're called, into trenches to produce hedgerows. Kind of a natural fence. I think that is about all we've got for you today. Clearly there's more trees on this poster, and there's a lot more trees all over Missouri. But those are a few of the ones that I notice when I'm out and about, either in the woods or in a park here in town. Those are some of the ones I like to keep my eye out for, especially those ones that are really tasty, like the pecan, the persimmon, and the black walnut. So thanks for joining us today, everybody. We'll see you all again tomorrow with another video.